Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Woman's Cave, or possibly Meet Hollywood Monday, because I think Jade is well connected in this Hollywood world. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out together. Anyway, I'm here by myself today. I am well known. A high five to me for being professional. I don't even have to do social distance style because it's just me, my own germs. What? That sounds really, really odd. My own germs. But let's admit it. That's all we really are thinking about nowadays. Safety and germs. I'm not doing very good at banter today. Not at all. So I'm just going to go straight into books. And this is going to be like a banterless one of these shows. Yeah. So we wrote books. We, meaning the And I Thought ladies, wrote some books. One of them being And I Thought Divorce Was Bad. And then it's And I Thought Being Grown Up was Easy. Both of them are audio books. And let's round out the top four. I think we normally do our book that hit #1 on the Amazon bestseller list of pop and anthology, The Women's Cave and Other Pop Poems. And of course, I would be remiss if I missed. Yes, remiss if I missed. I'm a poet. Jade's favorite one, which is And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone. So those are some of the books that we wrote. You can find out everything that your ladies are doing at www.andwethoughtladies.com. Also, we have www.andithoughtlaties.com. It's brand spanking new. Like smack it on the buns, take its first breath of air new. You can also soon check out, I think in 6 weeks, the 25 hottest authors, artists, and advocates magazine, our annual once-a-year magazine for 2021. See who's hot. I never put who's not. Maybe we should put who's not. Anyway, you guys can tell me about that. But you're not here to hear about me rambling on and on and on, although I wish you were. You're here to hear about our guests. Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Jada Buford, and 3 things I want the world to know about me is that I'm a Virgo. I am a student of the world, and I am an aspiring filmmaker and documentarian.
Nice. When you say student of the world, what parts of the world have been included in your education?
I would say, I think a big part, because I think a lot of people don't really think about Black spaces as part of the global world, but I see like the Pan-African space as my world. So like what's happening, you know, in the suburbs to the hood to of any city. So like I'm from Chicago, but I went to Howard University, so connected with the DMV, but then I spent like 2 summers, one summer in LA and one summer in New York. So like really well connected when it comes to cities, but then also like as of recently, I've become more connected with, the international Pan-African Black space when it comes to film. Right now, I'm the multimedia fellow for Quayle TV, so online streaming platform, and it just has lots of good Black content from around the world. And yeah, I would say globally, yeah, I'm a student of the world. I always try to find something to learn and try to see how I can learn from different things, good or bad.
I did not say this when we first started off, but normally, if Jade is here, we stay on track. I'm not here with Jade, so we're going to verts because sometimes I get a little distracted and go down a rabbit hole. And you said Chicago, so where do you like to eat in Chicago?
That is a tough question because every like when the pandemic first hit and I had to come back and I was just like, yay, I get to get some good food because the food does not compare to the DMV.
Anywhere really.
But yeah, so my favorite really is so hard. I love Italian food. Like we have Italian beefs and stuff. We have like a just a well mixture of different things, seafood, shrimp. There's this battle between who has the best chicken, and it's like, Harold's and then Uncle Remus, but like the main ingredient is the mouth sauce. So It's the Chicago mild sauce for me. And yeah, but my favorite food really is the pizza, you know. It's not the traditional. I know people are like deep dish is, X, Y, and Z. I'm like,
Okay.
no, I just love the pizza here. It's yeah.
I had to ask because I'm bringing it back to me because I might not have mentioned this, but I am the narcissist of our group, and I am currently, like, literally right now, before we got on, I was shopping Taste of Chicago to figure out what I'm having from Chicago this week. And I'm trying to decide right now between sausages, kibasas, or ribs and pizza.
I don't know. Like I feel like whenever I am like homesick, I always just think about like Italian beefs and then pizza because it just doesn't compare to. I don't even think Italian beefs exist
anywhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah, because like I was telling my friends, they were just like, "What is that?"
What?
I'm like, "Okay, well, you haven't had a slice of life yet."
So Jade and I, what we do is once every 2 years. We used to do this every year. Once every 2 years, we lose about 10 to 15 pounds. And then we go to Chicago and eat for 24 hours, which we mean is we eat 8 hours a day for 3 days. And you go, well, how could that possibly happen? Go to Chicago, you'll find out.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't had anything bad. Never.
Nothing. Literally, I don't know if there's any cuisine that we can't do right. Like everything is good. I remember when I first, went to DC, I lost so much weight because I was not eating. And then like over winter break, I gained it all back because I was just, saying I gotta have this, have that, all of that.
Okay. Well, there is one food that I think you guys don't do as good as like anywhere, but it doesn't count because I mean, for crying out loud, we eat Greek food in Greece every year.
Yeah.
But like, if we can't get there, then we order our food from Chicago. But I'm like, when we're in Chicago, we're like everything but the Greek food because we'll be there in a few months. So what's the purpose? But anything else? Oh, I didn't even think I liked pierogies, but good God, those are delicious there.
Greek food is top tier. Love it.
Okay, now we're back. We're back. This interview is now about you, and I'm now hungry, and I'm supposed to be having sushi for lunch. This is not working out. This is not working out. I'm gonna need my Taste of Chicago to get here a little quicker. So let's talk about like how do you find the different cultures? Because you said you've been in New York and LA, Chicago. You started to reach out to the international Pan-African cultures. So how do you find the voice for all of those in your documentary and filmmaking pursuits?
So I would say it began when I was a subject in the Starz docuseries America to Me. That's where I like found my voice in storytelling, and then I realized, okay, it was by accident, but at the same time, it was destiny. I was curious about like what narrative my high school was going to be told in, and like what narrative that the Black students were going to be presented in, and so that's when, and that also happened to be the same time where I was taking my first film class. And so the film just so happened to find me and document me in my journey, like in my first stages, creating my first projects and stuff. And I think after going to Howard, I realized that like the content I was making in high school was more so like, okay, I want to be a vessel for people that can't speak for themselves, and that and to like create content that was going to spark some sort of dialogue. And so when I got to Howard, I realized, okay, I kind of wanted to take the focus less off of like white people and how white people need to stop this and that, and focus more on like the Black experience and how like the complexities of Blackness. And I think for me, being in all these different spaces, it contributed to that and to the story that I want to tell. And I think it takes that too, just knowing that, that we're not a monolith. So Chicago is very different from New York, and Chicago is very different from DC, and even with the global spectrum too. Because I think before I became before I became a fellow at um, my media fellowship at Quaid TV, I just had this assumption that it was all this content about Black life or Blackness that I didn't know, and and I see it with all the different independent filmmakers and the different things that they're different stories that they're telling that mainstream media doesn't. So I think that's how I connect with the different spaces and how I learn. To answer your question, I hope I answered your question.
So where do you see yourself in the renaissance of of media? Because with all the different streaming platforms, you have so many opportunities. Where do you see yourself landing in this renaissance?
I see myself I've never been asked a question. I'm glad you asked that. I see myself being one of those people from the past, like Zora Neale Hurston and Debbie Allen, and um, even to like Ava DuVernay, because I think it's so weird. Because I think about like what documentaries made me want to go this route, and it was watching her My Mic Sounds Nice documentary that was on at the time. It was Centric, but now it's BT Her. So it's like I definitely see myself as being multifaceted and not staying into like one lane. And I definitely think we're able to do that more today. So like I definitely see myself also documenting our history, because it's something a lot of Black people don't get the opportunity to do, especially with Black women, because we just have a different lens. And so, yeah, I see myself as documenting history and challenging and trying to change the narrative of Black women on screen and behind the scenes. So, like, at the moment, I'm actually just applied to different graduate programs. So I'm just, we'll see if I get into Columbia's creative producing program. So I see myself as that, as being a producer as well, but being multifaceted and not conforming to one specific thing.
So you think you'll probably do your own production company then?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, like I want to do that.
Instead of going the executive route.
Yeah, like there's a part of me that's like we need both, but I also feel like just knowing the history of like Hollywood, it's like the system is working the way it's been working. And so I think the best way to combat those issues is to, create your own content. So definitely having a production company that's Black women led, or even just like collaborating with the ones that do exist at the moment. And also do see myself having some sort of mentorship for Black students to travel globally. Like it's just something I thought about. I was like, I want to. I got the opportunity when I was younger to travel internationally, and I think that really changed my world perspective. And so that's something I definitely want to do down the line.
I remember, so again, back to me, because I mean, after all, the narcissist has to. I've spent so much time on you. The narcissist needs time now. No, I'm joking.
Hey.
I remember someone had asked if we hadn't built our platform on domestic violence, and if this was not like our place that we took our stand on our soapbox and was like, hey, we need to do something. What other thing would you be involved in? And of course, Jade immediately was like foster children. So we immediately got involved into like foster children things. Mm-hmm. But I was like, what I have always wanted to do was take children and have them go to an international place and really be a local for like 14 days. Yes. Just children who have never gone anywhere past 8 blocks in their neighborhood. Because block 10 is scary. No one goes there. Mm-hmm. Just like, and then like have them go internationally and be in another country.
It's
life and culture. Because I think that would completely change how they saw the world and how they saw themselves and how they would deal with the world and what they would want to do. I'm probably nuts. And the person who looked at me the person who asked me was like, that's all? And I'm like, you just don't understand. That's not all. Like that is, you talk to our friends and they travel everywhere. You talk to us and you were like, oh, you guys travel. No, not compared to them.
Mm-hmm.
And their view of the world and my view of the world are a little different. So I haven't traveled as much. But then when you talk to people who don't go anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
their view of the world and what they can and can't do is
It's very
almost frustrating at times. You're like, you can do it. You can. You can. You can.
right. Yeah. And I definitely think me doing that, like I wouldn't have gotten into America to Me. I wouldn't have even like it was literally as a result from that trip, I found I think I found my voice too. Like I credit, being a part of America to Me and my film class is all me finding my voice. But I think after I went international and I went to Switzerland to talk about education as a human right. And between that space, we went to three different other cities and stuff. And it was amazing. But at the same time, like, being in because I went to a suburban school, high school, and being in a mixed group and then seeing like, I'm not saying that the experience was all peachy because, we're still Black internationally, so you still have those experiences, but at the same time it does open your horizons to like, I don't have to be limited and nothing is going to limit me after this. So that's definitely something I want to do, and I definitely think all children should do, especially Black children, because we just don't have those luxuries.
Okay. So I think that I want to ask about the projects that you are in right now, that you're involved in right now, and any past projects that we could possibly see.
Yeah, so the pull up. Main thoughts together. So past projects, I think I was mainly doing. I have to think about it with the pandemic. You just forget everything. I was working on a lot of student projects, but most of the stories that I did work on were had to focus on Black women narratives, and so I have one story called Hair Story, and it talks about mental health and the relationship with Black women and hair. And prior to that, I have this short documentary on colorism and my community in high school, and then Dear OPRF, which was um, a short mini web series that was inspired by Justin Simeon's Dear White People. And it was just me challenging my high school to do better when it came to, the Black students. And for future projects, I am working on a podcast. It's in the works. I'm trying to see if it's something that I also want visuals to, but it's kind of hard to do it with being in COVID. But yeah, so that's coming soon. That's all I can say about it.
We'll be looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that you'll come back to introduce your podcast, and that we'll actually get the times right this time. I think this is our third attempt at this interview.
Of course, I would love to come back.
Is there any place that people can keep up with the progress of your podcast and when COVID ever ends, your film career?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Jada Lynn B on Instagram. So JADALYN and then the letter B. And yeah, and then that's pretty much where I keep everybody updated. But I am working on trying to update my personal website so I can, keep up with everything.
Oh, it's hard to do. And it's funny because during COVID, you would think it isn't. You'd be like, I'll just sit down and get it done. But it's amazing what we have found to put in those time slots while we're home.
Yes. Yeah, I've been meaning to do it since graduation. I'm just like, I've just been busy nonstop. So I am working on my updating my personal website, but you can follow me at my Instagram account, and that's where I post most of my content and where you can find everything else.
Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited that you came and that we finally got connected. I'm so excited. Miss Lois Boston had said that you were going to be an amazing guest, and she was so not wrong. You were an amazing guest. So it's about time for me to wrap it up for us. And yes, this is one of the most boring shows that I have ever done because I wasn't bouncy and all over the place and I could not do my banter correct. Oh, well. Sorry, y'all. That's okay. I don't mind. So you can find out everything that your ladies are up to at www.andwethought.com. And while you're there, you can go to the first page. That's right, the home page. And no, I did not start with the ladies page like Jade would. I'm starting as the narcissist with my stuff. On the homepage, you can go down to the little blue box where it says the Ladies Tale Podcast, where you can hear professional actors read my television scripts. I love that. Every time I hear it, it's just amazing. And then more importantly than any of that, seriously, you can go to the Ladies tab, go down to the middle of the page and see the 3 charities that we proudly support. Please support them too. I mean, this is COVID. You know, it's hard for everyone out here. Imagine how hard it is for charities. So you can do that by giving them money, time, or even just a little bit of your expertise. And if you can't do any of that, just send them a little note and tell them that you see what they're doing in the world and you appreciate it. Because we all feel better when we get that. And, you know, it helps you like, I can do this. I can keep going. So remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Will Nona and the Missing Jade.